Welcome back to the Win with Dice podcast, a podcast all about tabletop RPGs, playing them, running them, having fun in them. And joining me today is Calvin.
Hi. I'm not doing the intro this week.
I know, it's weird. That was weird. I don't... That was a little exciting. I don't know.
I think you did pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, put a comment down below if I nailed it, and like if I didn't, I guess.
Yeah. Comment if it's good, like if just don't hit that dislike button, whatever you do.
Yeah, it's no fun for anyone. But yeah, Calvin, how are you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. I was pretty busy with work most of the week, but I did get a chance to play yesterday. Or not play, well, run. I would like to play in the new virtual tabletop I'm using, just because I think it would be fun as a player, but did get to do some of that. And I might try doing some pixel art today, if I can find time to squeeze that in.
Pixel art's fun. I'm not a very good artist, but I can manage doing pixel art.
Yeah, I saw, because I've been wanting to do that for like game development stuff, so I'm not like beholden to whatever assets I can find. And there's this program I wanted to get called A-Sprite that you do pixel art in. It's like made for pixel art, and it's on sale this weekend, so I downloaded the demo to try it out. So if it's cool, I might pick it up, because you can do animations in it. Like I have GIMP that I use for all my photo editing, but I can't do pixel art animations in it. Like it's not built for doing that like A-Sprite is, so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, that sounds exciting. Well, like we said at the top, this is a D&D podcast.
RPG podcast. Tabletop RPG.
Sorry, yeah.
Don't Kleenex it.
Oh, yeah, don't Kleenex it, yeah. We don't even play D&D on this channel.
No, which is the funny thing, I think. Because at some point, I mean, I've definitely done it. We've both definitely done the thing where we just say D&D. Would we mean RPGs in general, or even like Pathfinder specifically?
Yeah.
It's just a very common thing. It is like the Kleenex and the Q-tips, and the just like the name of the type of product is the specific brand of it. Just because it's so ingrained into the culture of the thing. I mean, more so with this than other products, I guess.
Well, yeah, I know it's cool because it's wide enough to, like, this hobby is so big that it encompasses a lot more stuff than D&D, but it's still like D&D is definitely the one that propelled it, and the success of that gaming system really kind of paved the way for the rest of them. So at least now in this kind of like this climate of gaming. But yeah, all right, Calvin. Before we jump into this, it feels so weird kind of running the show a little bit. Because
does it? I mean, it's fine for me.
A little bit. Calvin's like, I finally get to take a break. But before we jump into the full episode, we have to do the thing. The Win with Dice weekly tip of the week.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, tip of the week. I think so, yeah. All right. Yes. All right. Usually Calvin prompts me, and I have like 5 seconds to figure something out. But I was thinking about it a little bit today, so I'm gonna roll with it.
Don't let me stop you. You go ahead. I'm loving this energy, by the way.
Yeah. Let's do it. I'm very excited. Well, anyway, so the tip of the week is specifically around like planning your campaigns or your sessions or however long your RPG I guess session's gonna be, and it could be kind of daunting to kind of make sure that like you have something prepared if you're playing, like if you're running a game weekly. I haven't actually ran a game weekly ever, so I mean even that's like sounds kind of daunting to me, but the task could be pretty daunting. A good suggestion I have is to kind of just go at it a little bit at a time, instead of like dogpiling everything on the last day and procrastinating like DMs usually do. Like a couple hours before the session actually starts. Try like writing down little notes throughout the week if it's a weekly thing, or if it's a monthly thing. Just like keep like a running even if it's just like ideas that you can react off of when you're actually in the session, that'll be very helpful. And you could just like find time, like 5 minutes during like your day to write down a couple of prompts, or like, you know, confirm a couple things, or maybe even just like read a monster stat block and understand, like, you know, how to use it. It could be like really helpful. I mean, that's my tip of the week. Don't procrastinate.
That's a pretty good tip.
Yeah, do literally anything to help you set up the game, and it'll pay off.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I mean, we joke, but that is good advice. Like, just having an idea to fall back on, even if you're not like fully prepared for what you want to do. Just being like, oh, I read something cool in a bestiary just recently, so let's find an excuse to throw that at the players for a bit. Can be fun to do. Like for me, because I am running a game every other week, I will admit I do end up doing that thing where I do the last minute prep a lot. But what I found really helpful is just like every time I have an idea, I write it down. And also, like, I would say also take advantage of your settings, even if you're homebrewing it. Just like having a bunch of people who exist in a space will make certain things a lot easier, because when your players go to a town, then at least like you know what's there, what to throw at them, what locations they might go to if they're gonna do some shopping, things like that. Anything you could do to minimize prep in the moment is a good thing, I guess. Well, again, so don't procrastinate. Don't procrastinate. I think again is the advice here.
Yeah, but if you do, that's okay, because we all do it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone
It
does
is.
it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it might help to like find out the thing that you are worst at improvising, and then if nothing else, prepare that. I'm still working on that personally, because I need to work on improvising higher level combats as well. But the thing I'm worst at right now, I feel like, is like rewarding players. Because I'll think of like, here's this enemy, they can fight them here, and I'll modify it this way. But then I don't think about like, oh, what are they gonna get out of this?
Yeah, it's just like more plot.
Basically, it's like,
like,
oh yeah, I have to give you
congratulations.
guys things that make you stronger.
Yeah, here. Now you get to go to this other place that I made.
Yeah, that's
And talk to
basically
these
it for
people.
me.
That's what your reward is, for my NPCs to talk to you. Yes. Yeah, I
You
know.
get
I
to
have
hear
the
me meet different people.
I have the opposite problem. Like, I never think about NPCs. So it's like I usually just dump that onto the players every time I can't think of something. It's just like, what do you think this person is?
which is
you know.
very fun, I will say.
Yeah, man. Get those players like flexing those muscles. And I will often like run with players just making up their own NPCs too and add into the story. I mean, well, because we play with in Lancer, we play with you, who's a DM, and Steven, who's DM'd, and like Corey's done a little bit of DMing. So like everybody's like comfortable a little bit with just like creating an NPC out of nothing. So I lean on that a lot. So yeah,
As you should.
Little side tip like a 1.1 tip of the week. Yeah, that's
You
what
get
it is.
1.5 tips this week.
Yeah, 1.5 tips this week. Good job, folks. You did it.
Pat,
All
pat
right.
yourselves in the back, and then pat that like button. And pat the subscribe. Oh man, I feel so silly doing that, but still do it anyways. Of course,
Yeah.
this is so back on track with the podcast. So this, of course, is a podcast that's just about, you know, our experience running tabletop RPG games, playing them, being in them, and hopefully helping people along the way to, you know, hop on the other side of the screen. So if you do have any specific questions about things you want to do in games, just drop them in the comments and we'll check them out, and then we'll, you know, do an episode on them or respond to them. But for now, we got a few different things we wanted to talk about. We wanted to do some more, like, you know, chat stuff on the podcast. We've done a few different unique episodes. We do a whole lot of recaps. So we kind of wanted to, you know, go back to our roots, as it were. Although, technically, I think our first episode really was like a recap, because we talked about the first time I played 5e.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's
I
true.
guess recaps are our root. But yeah, so let's just chat about like life and stuff. I did run a game yesterday.
Calvin's lack of direction is like is eating at him.
Yeah.
You can feel it, man. Oh, it's hilarious. No, man, people came here for the flim flam. Like, yeah, so whatever. It flim flam's the sauce that makes the whole podcast the best. All right.
It really is.
All right, you've been running in Foundry. All right. This is
just
thing
the
we're
one
talking
time,
about.
just the one time so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did run a game yesterday. I'm not going to recap it this week. Maybe in like 2-3 weeks, so we can space them out a bit because we definitely want to talk about Tim's game because I think we might be a couple sessions behind on that one. But yeah, so I've done rather a game in a new virtual tabletop called Foundry that one of my players introduced me to a few weeks ago at this point. Because I think they had just started playing in it and they thought it was really cool. We took a look at it and we thought it was really cool. I didn't have it ready for the last time we played, so this time I was trying to get it ready. So the last session I did wasn't very dense as far as plot goes. It's just like one single combat, as we were just adjusting to this new system.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of things about it that I did like, though.
Yeah, let me hear about it.
Because
I've never experienced like Foundry at all, and I've only seen like I've only really seen like from NHP Shaka's stuff like on his YouTube channel when he used his Wallflower campaign. Like this is like the most amount of Foundry I've ever seen. So it looks pretty cool. I mean, it looks like Roll20 because that's what I currently use. But yeah, Calvin, let me know what it's like. Should we switch it? Is it that cool?
Well, that depends because I had to get it on sale because it is a paid service, like it's a paid virtual tabletop. It was about $50 Canadian on sale. So I got it, and then we all sort of like chipped into it together. But I made the purchase, and everyone gave him some money for it, which was super nice. I really appreciate that they're so invested in our game. But yeah, so you do have to pay for it. You do also have to deal with hosting, because like with Roll20, like it's just always there. Your account has a limited amount of space that you can upload things to, but your game is always present. Right. For Foundry, though, you have to find a way to host it. So you can either like have it hosted online somewhere, but normally, I guess what most people would do, at least what I was doing, is it's just hosted off of my computer. So right now, because I have the program closed, people can't get access to it. But when it's open, like if I had it open and running in the background, then people could the players, I should say, could actually like get on into the world and have access to the characters and everything.
Oh, okay, cool. So on their end, it's like they just kind of connect to your program, right? So, but you have the license to run that program. Okay, I see. All right, cool.
Yeah, so I'm hosting it. Yeah, basically. So that takes a little, I guess, getting used to compared to just like being able to access your game at any time. You might have to adjust some things for that, especially if you want to like update your sheet and stuff. But I will say, at least as far as Pathfinder 2e goes, I'm kind of liking it a lot better than Roll20, because from a player perspective, first off, it's definitely easier to build a character, because it's sort of like, what's it called, Path Builder in a way, sort of, not entirely, but sort of, in that, because I made an NPC and I just used player character stats just to try out building a player character. When I put them at a certain level, it opened up all the feat slots that they were supposed to have at the time. Okay. As well as just their class features. It automatically put those in. But what was really neat is I didn't have to manually type in my feats or anything like that. I could open a compendium, and then I could click and drag the feats into the appropriate slots, and then it would just like autofill with that information.
Oh.
And then if I wanted to use them in game, I just click on their icon and they show up in chat. And then there's some things that might require a roll, so it'll include a button to roll as well. I was trying to figure that out. Some of them didn't work. Like ones that we had to put in manually didn't work, so I think there's like some specific coding you have to put in.
Yeah.
But there were certain things that were just like, I think there was one to do with like lying that one player had, and it just had like a lie button when they did the feat. It included in the chat a button you can click that rolls the deception check for a lie effect, which is honestly really awesome. And there's like a whole bunch of stuff like that. Like very minor things that made life a lot more convenient, like lines and cones and radiuses. because there was like a whole difficult thing going on.
Lines and cones and radius.
I mean, yeah, like there was a whole thing going on in one of our previous games where we were trying to figure out if certain enemies would be affected by a line spell. But with this, when you draw the line, it actually highlights what squares are affected by that spell, as well as what squares would be affected by a radius and things like that. Yeah. So instead of just like drawing, like clicking and dragging a measurement tool, which you might sometimes end up doing for radiuses, but then it won't be like grid-based radius, it'll just be like distance-based radius, which, I mean, depending on how you want to play the game, whichever one you want, but like, yeah, I just like having that grid-based radius. I like having the line, especially. That saves so much trouble than having to like measure out like going 3 squares up and then 1 across. Like, it's just like, no, it's here, it's highlighted right there, easier for you. Really like that, so very convenient. The reason I wanted to be a player or try playing a Foundry run game is because you can also set up like different hotkeys, sort of like what can I compare this to? Ooh. I think probably WoW does this, but I don't know because I haven't played it for a while. I know RuneScape does it, where you can just set up like a bar of actions. You just click and drag your actions onto a bar.
Yeah.
And then they're like right up front available to you, even when your sheet isn't open, I think. So you can just click it, and then it'll do like maybe if you use your short bow or a certain spell all the time. It's just right up front for you to click on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, like Roll20 can do that too. just have fun.
Well, yeah, if you make it.
If you're interested in that, in
if
Roll20.
you have to like go out of your way to do it.
No. If there's a clickable, no.
Is there?
No, it's not. If you have a clickable button on your sheet, you can just drag it in. Like, just literally, you don't have to pop up the sheet into a new window. As soon as you open up a sheet, you just grab the button and drag it down. It'll automatically snap that and create a macro for it.
Okay, well, I wish someone had told me that.
Actually, you could have multiple. Yeah, well, I thought everybody
No, dude,
knew.
you're way better at Roll20 than
now
I am.
You know, Calvin. I do it all the time for NPCs. Yeah, well, just okay. Hey, that's a good way to use it. Yeah, I use it all the time. So that's why I make all the buttons too, because I just want to not be inside sheets all the time. I just want to be able to just click the buttons and do everything from like the chat or like the bottom bar, right? So I have like a couple stuff like I have all this players, like I have the stat blocks of characters and Lancer inside, you know, just a random space that no one really uses on the sheet, right, for anything. So then I just have that button. I just press stats, and the stats just show up in the chat. I mean, you can't see it because it's on the GM screen, but like for me, it's like, oh great, I need to know what the evasion of this character is.
Okay.
I know exactly what it is.
Yeah, I did not know you could do that. I mean, again, you know Roll20 more than I do, because you've been like delving into it, making all this stuff for Lancer. So that's entirely fair. But what was the other thing? Oh yeah, the other major thing that I really liked. With certain spells that require a save, what you could do is that like after someone casts the spell, it shows up in chat, and it'll have like a couple of buttons depending on what the spell is. Like with say a damaging spell, it'll have a button that has like you roll to do the damage, but there's another button where you can roll to do the save. So for me as the GM, what I could do is I could click on a token of a certain NPC. I click on that button, and then they'll roll that specific save. Additionally, it'll show me whether they succeed, fail, or like critically succeed, critically fail. So there was a moment where like a bunch of things were being hit by a certain spell, and all I had to do was click on one, click on the button, click on one, click on the button, and then I could see like, oh, this guy succeeded, this guy failed, this one succeeded, this one failed. So these two are taking full damage, these two are taking half damage, you know, that kind of thing. Just very easy to like quickly look at. I didn't even have to look at the DC for the spell. Additionally, like normally it would be a situation where like you roll it and then it's like, oh, did it meet the DC? Okay. This, it was just like, it was even in color too. So like the success was in blue, the failure was in orange. It was like super easy to just like click. I know if they succeeded or failed. Hit me with the damage. There were a couple of things I didn't like, or maybe that I just don't know how to do so far. Like when I'm taking damage in Roll20, what I can do is I can put like the equation in the text box and it'll automatically do it. So it'll be like, I don't know, 52 minus 36, and it'll do it automatically. With Foundry, that doesn't seem to be the case, at least not that I've seen so far. So I have to like manually do the brain math, which gets more difficult the later you play, as you well know. There was also, because I do have like some, you know, like map, like different images and stuff, like just for maps and things. but I had them scaled to a certain size because I had to compensate for Roll20 like file size. But with Foundry, they don't let you create a grid cell like on your map. They don't let you create a grid cell that's smaller than 50 pixels, which is I don't know why that is the case, but it is. So I had to like scale up some of my map, like my world map. I had it scaled to a certain size, and each grid cell was about 32 pixels. Because that was like
right. But now you gotta
I had to scale it up. I had to do some math.
You gotta adjust it, right?
To like fit like. Yeah, I had to like figure, okay, well, if I want my grid cells to go from like 30 or whatever they were to 50, then how much larger does the map have to be, and stuff like that. Just looking at the measurement tool to work, which I need for like tracking how long travel takes and stuff like that.
Right. It's because your road trip style of DMing, where you need to know how long the travel's actually gonna be. No hand waving here, folks. Calvin straight laced.
I mean, it's real fun to do, so that's why I do it. But yeah, so, like there is
as far as like. I was gonna say, as far as customization goes, on your side, I guess you've had to like, how do you have like, is the bestiary already loaded, so you just kind of like grab that, or like, okay.
That is like, I should have made notes on this because that is another awesome thing about it. This was actually the best thing about it because with Roll20, a lot of my prep time gets sucked up by me like putting in different stats for creatures and things like that. And I know I can buy the bestiaries again on the store, but I don't want to buy them again because I already bought the book, right? Like I have all the bestiary books. Like I don't want to buy them again on Roll20 just to have the stats there. But with Foundry, I don't know if this is legal or not. So if you hear the FBI in the background, you know why. But yeah, in Foundry, like they're just there. Like because like they're dealing with like this legion of kobolds. So I just went into the bestiary. I searched kobold. It's like here's all these different types of kobolds. Here's kobold scouts. Here's kobold spellweaver. Here's green, blue, red, and white kobold mages. And I just click import, and boom, they are there. I can customize them if I need to. I can put my own tokens on them if I need to. So another thing that they can do is they can easily make, like they have buttons that make them elite or weak if I want to quickly adjust the CR for them. So like the kobold scouts, they're only like level 2 normally. But like I just hit the elite button, so they bump up one thing, so they're like a CR higher. So they're a bit more threatening, not like a major threat to a 6-level party, but like I can have like a bunch of them and they'll be, at least disconcerting for a bit. Additionally, I can like what I did, because I think I already described like I might have a custom character for like a boss fight or something like that. So I can import the character stats and then just customize it to fit what I need. Like what I have like a duplicate of it. I have one of the original and the modified one, but I don't really need it because I can just re-import the original if I need to. But again, like it is just super easy. They have all sorts of books available. I don't really know the extent of the books available, just because I kind of glossed over it because it was like, here's a huge list of things. But yeah, they have like all these monsters, all these feats, all these spells. I just like search the feat list, and then it's like, here's the feat you want, and then I'll put it on my character sheet if I'm making like a character or something like that. So that was probably like one of the main things that got
sounds
me over.
Awesome.
Yeah, like not having to
that button to like change templates, just add like a template or make it weaker or whatever. Like, dude, that's like phenomenal. Yeah, definitely. I wish I had that in Roll20. I mean, I'm assuming that like Lancer's probably getting that's probably exists in Lancer, because like grabbing a template from like a thing. I don't know, I should talk to Shaka about it. But yeah, I need to see if there's like, if you could just like, here's this like assault, and then you put like an elite on it. Does like all the elite stuff get like attached to it? Like that would be pretty dope if it just worked. Because like that's also a lot of time. I mean, ComCon does that, but then it's like transferring that into Roll20, and let's say if I wanted to like make a change or do something on the fly, like I can't. I mean, I could go really old school and just be rolling like actual Roll20s from like the button and just like tell you guys what. But I like to have the show because it's the stream, right? So
Yeah, I mean, like, because
Everything in its
I've done the
place.
thing where I've had to like roll physical dice for stuff because I don't have the character set up in Roll20 as well. But like with this, it's just
Yeah.
import and it's there, which is so convenient for me. There's also like there's stuff I haven't got a chance to try out yet. There's all the lighting stuff that I want to take a swing at. So I kind of want to like. I had a dungeon planned out that I now want to expand on so I can play with the lighting a bit more. There was something else I didn't get to try out. I don't recall what it was. There is like an in-game calendar thing that I couldn't figure out how to customize to fill with my own custom calendar that I have. But it's certainly there. You can put it to like keep track of time and stuff. And then you can like skip ahead a day, skip ahead a minute, skip ahead a week, like that kind of thing. It even like, I'm pretty sure you can have it go up by, I saw like a round that it can go up by, so you can keep track of in-world time very, very precisely.
So cute. That's nuts. That's hilarious that you can like track people's day. It's like, oh, it's only 2:30.
Exactly.
Keep going. Like,
Well, its combat tracker was pretty
nice,
good.
that's cool.
You know, you just like you add things to it. It rolls the dice. It did, because some of things tied for their initiative. It did automatically sort them, which was cool. Gosh, what else? I don't know. There was something else, and I'm probably blanking on it now. But Foundry in general, I'm just finding it really cool, finding it really great mostly. I do have to like. There is a lot of work to do to transfer certain things over because you know how I like to have different background scenes for each location. So I'm still doing that, creating those like backgrounds for each location, but yeah, I'll do that eventually. Rolling tables, that was the thing I was trying to remember. There is a thing to create a rollable table, which I did not get a chance to try out yet, but looking forward to doing that because I can put like my random encounter table on that.
I was gonna say, you probably like a massive random encounter, like all your tables. You probably have like tons of tables. You're like, now I could store this here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my tables are a
Foundry
bit
sounds
messy.
cool, man.
Yeah. I mean,
I like the aspect of just dragging and dropping. Like, it sounds so legit.
Yes. It really is like far more convenient than having to manually type out each spell and each feat and everything. And like even equipment you can drag on. Oh, another thing that I forgot to say about Foundry, it keeps track of your ammunition. So if you assign a certain ammunition, like one character, the NPC that I made had 20 arrows, and I assigned them to the short bow. Both of those things, all I had to do was click and drag them on. So I assigned the 20 arrows to the short bow, or then every time I fired the short bow, it would automatically count down each arrow.
Interesting. I wonder if can you assign multiple, like, let's say you have like a couple of spell arrows or whatever. Can you assign those too? So then,
yes,
I guess if you want to use it, it'll just
because it was a drop down to assign the ammunition to the weapon. So like all I had was the arrows, so the only thing in the drop down was the arrows. But like if you had different stuff, I assume it would be like select that ammunition, fire it off.
Nice. Wow, Foundry, you're pretty impressive, actually.
So yeah, like it is based on what systems are available for it. So I didn't see Mutants and Masterminds in there, which is a shame. But Starfinder is in there, so I'm kind of leaning towards using this in the future because I have to admit I'm not a super big fan of the Starfinder Roll20 sheets. There's a couple different versions. But I'm not like hugely into them.
It's like uber complicated, actually. Like,
yeah.
I remember trying to fill it in, and I was like, "What is happening here?" It just feels like not to shake Pasion or whatever, right? It's just like they've like the Pathfinder 2E sheet is way easier to navigate than the Starfinder, and it just kind of feels like Starfinder's kind of in the past a little bit. Like it's like they have a way better design in their Pathfinder 2E system than Starfinder, and like I'm really looking forward to Starfinder 2E because I'm down for the whole simplification and all that stuff that they did to port over Pathfinder 2E from Pathfinder.
I wonder if that'll happen. It's certainly not going to happen this year because there's definitely Starfinder stuff coming out this year that I'm looking forward to. The new tech book, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I keep wanting to go back to Starfinder. But man, I love the 3 action economy in Pathfinder 2e. I just, man, it sucks going because trying to going back to I love Mutants and Masterminds, but when I'm playing it each week, it's just like, I don't know. I wish I didn't have to be I got a move, that's my move action. I shoot, that's my standard action. I just want to be actions.
Yeah, I just want more actions. I want to move, shoot, or shoot, move, or move, shoot, move. That's what I want to do, but you can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Yeah. Well, shit. Foundry's sounding pretty good. Although, so for customization, did you have a lot of it? As in, can you go in there and create your own items or add your own abilities or anything like that?
There was a thing for items. You know how Roll20 has this different, pages and stuff? There was a page for items that, again, I didn't get a chance to get too deep into. But I know there's a section for it. I assume it'll be, because you could just, search through equipment and put something on your sheet. I assume it'll work the same way. If you search through the equipment, if your GM has created a custom item, it'll be there. I don't know for sure though. That's the thing I have to go in and figure out.
Interesting.
Okay, also it automatically tracks bulk, but I think Roll20 might do that as well.
You still have to put in the how heavy a thing.
Oh yeah, you put in the bulk manually, but it'll track it. Yeah, well with this, you don't have to put the bulk in at all.
Interesting. Yeah, I know. Roll20 is so weird. It's such a pared down system that you could really kind of do whatever you want in it, and it's so easily accessible, right? It doesn't cost anything for any of the players or the DM to kind of go in there and make it happen for them, right? But definitely because it's so accessible, it's not easy to use, right? It's just you have to put a lot of work in to get stuff out of it a little bit. So
yeah, I think Roll20 definitely benefits from its accessibility because it's free and you don't have to worry about hosting it. But Foundry has a lot of it's all those minor quality of life improvements that add up to a better experience for me.
Definitely.
I want to try out the Starfinder stuff in that. I haven't yet. But I will. That's on my list of things to do this week.
Ooh, Starfinder. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Well, Calvin, that's exciting.
It really is.
I would wonder if anybody, drop a comment below if you're thinking about moving away from Roll20 if you're playing online, which I'm assuming lots of people are just playing games online, right?
Yeah.
I know some people just literally do it over Skype because or a Zoom or whatever, right? So it's it depends. I want to know what everybody else is using because this year has definitely shown the cracks in the the online tabletop RPG applications, right? Because I know even in what's it called? Ooh, I totally forget. There's a D&D one. That also is like Foundry. I think it starts with an F as well.
Fantasy Grounds?
I can't remember what. Fantasy Grounds. Yeah, Fantasy Grounds. Right. Yeah. Because it automatically does everything for you too, right? And it, even if someone casts a spell, right, and you select which characters get on it, it automatically all the characters will roll. Let's say it's a fireball, they will automatically roll all of their saves and automatically subtract that amount of damage from them. They're just all automated, which is great. And that kind of stuff can really speed up a game, right?
Yeah, that would be. I don't know if Foundry does that. I had a brief moment where someone hit a thing with an attack, and then I went to check their HP, and it was already down. And I was like, did I do this or did you do this? Because I don't remember doing this. I don't know if it was just a memory fart on my part, because it never happened again, but. Yeah, that does seem really cool. There is other add-ons and stuff I want to get for it. There's a thing that can affect players' auras, and then I think I'm hoping it can automatically affect people's stats because we have a bard that is doing here's the +1 AC song, here's the +1 attack roll song. So,
yeah.
It would be cool if you could automate that. But yeah, if you want to drop a comment below about like what virtual tabletop you're using and what you might like or dislike about it, feel free to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Cool, man. All right. What
All
are we
right.
talk about next?
Well, Ramon, this is something we were just talking about outside the show. The concept of running out of ideas, which I thought was pretty interesting. Just because, before the episode, we were just talking about, like, what are we going to talk about this week? And we're just thinking about, like, let's space out the recaps a bit more. Let's try to do some, just talking about, like, maybe more helpful things. Although we did talk about Foundry a whole lot, and I don't know how helpful it was. But we did want to talk about just sort of... Oh, okay, well then maybe it'll be helpful to other people. But yeah, just like running out of ideas, and I guess use like where we can get inspiration from or stuff like that. I don't know, Ramon, do you wanna head off this discussion like you were doing at the top of the show?
Yeah. So I don't know. I've been personally playing a lot of Magic the Gathering Arena a lot. I think like a week ago, and now I'm kind of addicted to it. But it's so weird because obviously I've played card games before. Like I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day.
I remember that.
Still kind of keep up with it a little bit now. Yeah, but I've never really gotten to Magic, and but playing Magic Arena like made me really feel like I'm a wizard. It's so weird since the card game is really good at making me feel like, oh yeah, I'm casting spells and shit, right? This is pretty dope. But it also like they wanted the last set that they came out with was a magic school, and like for me it's like I can't unthink of a magic school because it's like you have a magic school, or you recently had that in your campaign, right? And it's like, dude, there should be a magic school in my game. And then it's like, what would be in it? And I was like, wow, this card art's so good. Maybe it's just these dudes.
Yeah.
Because like I know that because like Magic's such like a wellspring of like ideas, because it's all for fantasy specifically, right? But it's like, it has all these the card art, so it's so evocative, and there are also like cards tie into each other all the time. You'll have one card that has like a dude on it, and then that dude would show up in the background of another card, right? And you get there's always like a little bit of a story in it. So if you're running out of ideas, go get some Magic cards.
It's not a bad idea.
You don't have to buy them. Just go go. You probably have a friend who plays Magic. Be like, yo, give me your comments or whatever, and let me just have it, like sitting on my desk or whatever. And you're drawing a blank or something, just pick up a card and be like, I'll use this, whatever this is.
Yeah, put it
I'll
in
just
somewhere.
use it, right? Like, yeah, because Magic has like dragons and zombies and spells and angels and all sorts of foolishness, like right? So you could just pick and grab and do that. I always thought that's like always you could definitely like plan out if you're wondering what your player's next move is, or like what you want to prepare for them. Just grab a handful of Magic cards and be like, okay, I guess they're fighting a zombie dragon, and because they picked a bunch of zombie dragons.
Fire plane.
You run with that. Yeah, the fire plane. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, what I do a lot of is I have a folder of just like inspo images for everything that I run. So there's one under my Pathfinder folder, there's my Mutants Masterminds one, and my Starfinder one, and in there it's always just like, if I come across a cool picture on the internet, someone posted a cool tweet, or I'm on sometimes it'll be on like Pinterest or something. Sometimes it'll be on like DeviantArt or whatever, and I'll just see like, here's a cool image of a character or a scene or an item or a background, and I'll just save that. And sometimes I'll just hang out in my inspo folder, scroll through it, and then I'll see something that just like at the moment it'll evoke an idea, and it's like, well, here's a cool character concept, let me see if I can find somewhere to put them, and then that's a thing that I can pull up at any time whenever I need to. That's sort of how, in our Quest of the Fateseer game, that's kind of how Brima happened. Is I just saw like a really cool gnome cleric, and I was like, well, she looks cool. Let me borrow this. Borrow things liberally,
nice.
but
Yeah. definitely use Pinterest a lot. I'm on it every time like I've completed like a leg of something, I'll go on Pinterest and start adding a bunch of stuff. Although I never really kind of look at it until I'm thinking I need something. So I have like a character board, right? Or like I have a like fantasy backgrounds board, or like just like a fantasy board. If I come across artists' pictures of just like fantasy shit, like floating temples, or like a crazy person casting a spell, or like some weird shit, I'll just keep it in there, right? Just for when I need it. And it's like, okay, cool, like, you know, I have a bad guys folder where it's like, oh shit, I need a bad guy. I'm gonna go scroll through this and get inspired to, and then just like find like whatever the thing looks like, I'll find some equivalent to it in the bestiary and be like, yeah, it's good. And then I'll add some cool stuff from the art and be like, oh, this is what you're fighting at. 10 tentacled beak thing.
Yeah, like scenes and backgrounds are also like really great. Like they just help you. They're so good at like helping to set a mood. Like if you see something that's like a run downtown, or it's like in the middle of a busy marketplace, just hanging on to that and even using the description of it as a way to inspire the imagination of your players. Just really great way to set things off and to inspire your own imagination as well. Like I think it is very easy to run out of ideas when you are the GM of a game, just because you have to like contribute so much of yourself. That's part of why I really like what Ramon does when going for player input. A thing that I want to steal more, but I don't know. I don't really do too much of it myself, unless it's like backstory related stuff. But yeah, like asking for player input is another thing that you can totally do. Like both in general, I think it's great, but also if you're in a position where you're not sure what you want to do, just, you know, leaning on the players isn't a terrible thing, because they know what they will have fun with.
Yeah, and like as well, you can read your core rule book. Like actually, it's so weird. I guess it depends on the system, because definitely there's lots of systems that are like really pared down, right? So it's just like the straight rules, right? Like really, it's like do whatever you want. These are the straight rules, right? But you know, like Pathfinder 2, and like, you know, Lancer, their rule books is chock full of just little tidbits of, you know, their lore, their setting, like, you know, little instances, like even on like weapon descriptions I find in Lancer, like they'll have a little blurb or something, right, about it, like just like a first-hand perspective sometimes, or like one of my favorites is like if you read the little blurb for why am I blanking on the NHP's name that your Blackbeard uses?
Wow, me too. It's not Osiris, it's the other one.
It's not Osiris, it's the other one. But yeah, that NHP, the blurb has like a advertisement essentially from North Star about it, saying it's the best, and then there's like a first-hand account of like, this thing is crazy, use it with caution. Segment. Yes, segment. Yeah, the segment blurb is hilarious, because it's just like, this thing is like, the advertiser's like, this thing is reliable, this thing it's for any, you know, mech pilot for looking to maximize like combat potential or some shit like that. And then it's like the blurb, the comment underneath is like, this thing is crazy, please use with caution. You know, they call it the Berserker NHP for a reason, right? Right, you know, which is like, you know, for the DM like me, it was like, I have to characterize NHPs because, you know, that's fun. It's like, oh yes, I like the idea that like, you know, or like the North Star as a company, like they think that like they're the best, and like they'll always sugarcoat things and make things like, you know, like real world corporations. Like, no, it's fine, it's perfectly good, it's the greatest thing in the world. While like actual practical applications for it is like totally different. It's like, this thing is super dangerous, don't use it unless you really have to. Like,
yeah, don't use it unless you're off on your own, because it will attack literally everything.
Yeah, I can't wait to have like I can't wait to you have a point where you're using it and I get to yeet you at your friends.
Especially
especially orangutan. I can't wait send you up there and you get slapped.
Oh no, that would be cool narratively, but I don't want it to happen.
Hey man, that guy gets off easy. Like he's always in the back at the corner, and I have to shoot through all his friends to get to him. Like, I gotta push Steven's buttons on that one.
Well, if you do, I mean, I do kind of want to see it now, just because those two characters have been getting along so well. Like compared, like as far as everyone in the party goes, they're getting along the best apparently. So.
Yeah, that's true. Like no one else really works. The guys are just like kind of work together. You guys aren't actually like interacting too much. But you know, that's all. It's all good. I mean, as long as you guys function, I'm perfectly fine with that. But yeah.
Back to inspiration.
Inspiration.
But yeah, like definitely, like even like reading through the rule book for Lancer, like seeing those blurbs for each item or each technology you can put on your mech. Looking through bestiaries if you're in Pathfinder, or monster manuals, I guess if you're in D&D. What's the one for Starfinder? The Alien Archives in Starfinder. User Masterminds has a bunch of stuff. So you could definitely look through those for different villains. You know, Threat Report, Rogues Gallery, the source books for their Freedom City and Emerald City. They're doing something in space next. I missed the last episode of their podcast, so I don't know what it is, but you know, but they're doing a space thing. So, you know, like every system, well, I mean, I don't know about every system, but you know, for the most part, like if you're playing a more popular system that has more content added to it, you can certainly like purchase those books, and you know, just read through them to just get like new ideas and inspiration. Like the images included in them alone can be inspiring. Like there's some stuff in Starfinder. I just saw some of the images from the book in Starfinder that just came out, the Galactic Exploration Manual, that I kind of wanted to get because it describes different like biomes and stuff like that, and I think it has some tables and it has like, you know, different stuff for like running a very open like space exploration campaign, which you know would be super Calvin. Like a big thing to do.
Calvin.
Did I just
like,
tempt you?
I don't think that. No, but like I don't know if you can handle it, because I know you're tempted to be like, I'll make an entire galaxy. And you'll have like flight times between them.
I mean,
I know you, man.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. I was trying to limit myself to just making one star system before I started making a whole galaxy. But
you'll just have tons of star systems and be like, yes, this is the I don't know, the X Nebula, and there's like spooky ghost men who like ride horses, and it's like, but that's like one planet, and then they have to make like a whole bunch of planets, and then you'll spin out. You'll just have like a bajillion planets kind of hanging out.
That is exactly what will happen to me, Ramon. There's no doubt about that. I was very much inspired by the game Outer Worlds. And the like the very heavily corporatized. It's like every place is a corpo state. Everything's owned by like one of a handful of companies, and all those companies are part of like one larger board. I was just very inspired by that, so I was working on a system like that. So I did want to get that book. But what I brought it up for is that I saw some of the art from it, and even just the art alone of just like a character dealing with a situation, or just art of like different scenery and different spaces, I think is like, it can give you some ideas to work off of. Like, what is in this space? Who else is in it? How can people interact with it? That sort of thing. If you're in a position where you feel like you're running out of ideas. Which I guess was supposed to be the main thrust of this topic.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's definitely the truth. Especially you have like you're on a roll, right? And you get a couple games in, and your players are having fun. You're plowing through all the content, and all of a sudden you're just like a week out, and you're like, shit, I don't know what's happening next. Like,
yeah,
it's so real.
You just finish something, or like you're not at a certain point yet, and you need something next. You don't know what to do. Just go to some book or something. Go to your set up a folder of like different inspiration and stuff. I do like what you said about like just like not looking at it all the time, because sometimes you come back to it and you'd be like, oh, I don't remember this thing, but now I can use it. I look at my inspo folders all the time, but only because they're really cool. But yeah, just like having that stuff to look at can really give you some good ideas. Having some inspirations outside of RPGs can give you some good ideas. Like if you're playing a fantasy game, borrowing things from the typical, fantasy lore, the more popular media, like that can work, or adapting certain things to fit in the space you want. Like if you, I don't know, if there's some game or book or movie you've interacted with recently that you like the ideas of, but it doesn't fit inside the space that you're playing in or the setting, how can you adjust it to make it work? And then what can you glean from that?
And like honestly, stuff too, like for Lancer, like I started watching a bunch of like planet geography YouTube. So it's like I watched a video about like why is the geography of Venus the reason why, and it's like pretty metal, so it's like it's pretty cool. So I watch stuff like that to get inspo for like sci-fi stuff, because Lancer's set in like the far future, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like if you want to have like a floating city, you can have a floating city or whatever, right? Like it's if you want to teleport, you could teleport, like it's no big deal. But I also kind of like want to have still a little bit of reasoning behind it, or if I just want to have like a little bit of more understanding of like space in general and like physics and stuff, because I can't hand wave stuff away all the time. Yeah. I don't like it personally. So if I could figure that stuff out beforehand, it's pretty good.
Definitely. It can definitely help you set an aesthetic if that's the kind of thing you want. I'm following a Twitter account that just posts like 70s sci-fi art, and I feel like that's gonna have a bad influence on me. Well, not bad influence, but a notable influence on me.
Yeah, and I follow a Twitter account that just posts a mech a day from an anime or whatever. Actually, anything that has a mech, any sort of media, they'll post like the year and what's it from and what the mech's called, right? And it's like just even seeing that image like once a day or something like that's pretty dope. I've been actually watching a lot of older mecha anime, and trying to glean some inspiration from them, because the mecha, I guess there isn't so much mecha coming out being produced in anime right now, but it was really a decade ago, I think maybe 2 decades ago, where mecha was like really big, and there was a lot of content being coming out. But now it's like it's all isekai stuff, which is like fantasy setting animes. Yeah, so
yeah, I don't know anime.
Too well with that. I have a feeling it's like the rise of isekais is like followed the trend of like the rise of Dungeons and Dragons and like that fantasy tabletop RPG. Like it's so strange. It's yeah. I think it's this is the most popular both the genres has ever been. So
oh yeah.
I don't know. That might just be correlation, but
good time to capitalize on that sort of thing. There's a new Marvel RPG coming out. It should have come out like 2 years ago, but whatever.
Yeah, would have been at the hype.
They just announced like the play test for it is going to be next year, which I don't know. That feels like a weird way to announce an RPG to me.
So like a Marvel RPG, like it's like, I mean,
well, there have been other Marvel RPGs before. Like there's been different kind of systems that have done Marvel focused games. This one I feel like is going to be more D&D inspired, probably, because just looking at like what the base stats are, they're very much like renamed versions of strength decks and all those.
Oh, okay. I see.
But yeah, like
so
it's going to be another
like
superhero
roll
system.
20 plus stat. Yeah, roll 20 plus stat equals.
They didn't say it was going to be a D20 system. They said it was going to be a D616 system, which wondering what that means. Because like 616 is the like Earth number for Marvel, like Earth 616. That's its place in the multiverse. So I get that, but I don't know what D616 is supposed to be. Like I assume it's a D6 system, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I guess so. It could be a D6 system. I mean, that would be like that would make sense. If I have to be honest with you. But yeah, no, I just don't know. I always wonder when someone creates like a new like RPG in general, like are you piggybacking off of, you know, the I forget what the 20, like the dice 20 game or whatever, you know, are you making like are you using a couple d6s in a pool kind of thing, you know, just like why would you choose one over the other, all that kind of stuff. It's like it's pretty interesting, for me anyway. But no, I'm excited just for like the settings and stuff. I want to go, that'd be cool, like go beat up AIM or whatever, or like I'm gonna go punch Thanos or something, or whatever the setting stuff that comes out of it. You get to play in that Marvel setting, which would be pretty dope. Wakanda.
That would be cool. That's like I mean, I don't know, I wish it was coming out sooner. I'm kind of annoyed that they're like, hey, the playtest for it is coming out next year. It's like, why'd you tell me then? I was happier not knowing.
They want to build hype, Calvin. That's how they have to tell everybody the hype chain is coming so people can jump on.
Yeah, if it was like a month away, then sure, but it's like a year away.
Listen,
from the
honestly,
playtest.
like I get excited when they announce like Marvel movies that are like 2 years out.
Yeah, but that's, I don't know. I think it's different when it's a movie versus something smaller scale like an RPG. Because I don't know, like when it's a movie, then it's like, okay, well I gotta like make an event out of going to the movie. Thanks for letting me know ahead of time, and I can like speculate like how's this movie gonna work, how's it gonna interact with the other characters, who's gonna be in it, and stuff like that. When it's an RPG, it's kind of the thing that's like if you tell me about a movie, I can't have the movie in my hand right now. You tell me about an RPG, then it's like, well, I want to have the RPG in my hand right now. Where is it? Why are you making me wait for it?
It's true. That's true. I mean, you can speculate as much as you want too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how much I can even speculate here, because it's like, well, it's gonna be, you know, a tabletop RPG. Like, I can't speculate about plot. Like, the plot's whatever I want to make it.
Yeah, in the D616 system, I think, I don't know, man. I guess like now we're talking about it, it kind of just feels a little bit of like a cash grab because, you know, of the popularity of tabletop RPGs now.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned
you
it.
know, Disney Marvel is like, hey man, we have all this cool IP stuff. We should just make a thing. You know, and I'm hoping that it's good because another franchise that I actually like a lot, like Warhammer and Warhammer 40k, they have like a really strong IP, but they've been kind of like throwing it around a lot, and I'm kind of not feeling the love from the customer, the company to me as a customer. Like, it's like, I don't know, man. It's just like, is this legit, or is this just like, let's make some money for a couple years and then just it's kaputs, like, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, like, a system could still be fun, though. This one, at least. The thing I do kind of like about it, from what little I know about it, while it does borrow the base ability scores, it's renamed them. So instead of strength, you have might, you have agility, resilience, vigilance, which I think is going to be wisdom, ego, which I think is going to be charisma, and intelligence, which I think is going to be logic. And if you arrange them in an acronym, it spells out Marvel, which is kind of cute, I guess.
That was one dude's contribution. It was like you can see it now, and then they put it on the PowerPoint presentation, and it's just like Marvel. Yeah, it's like presenting it to the board, you know, the Marvel overlords, and then like it's just like the mouse.
Mickey Mouse sitting at the head of the table.
Good. Yeah.
Get that D&D money. Oh.
Yeah, that insatiable mouse. It's okay, as long as they keep putting out good stuff, I'll keep giving them the money.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's definitely a monopoly. You know, they bought Fox. They own like everything now. But also, The Mandalorian was really freaking good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was very good, and it saved the entire franchise from that shit movie they put out.
Yeah, I guess you can own the world now, Disney. You're making a Boba Fett series, so you can do whatever you like.
Hey man, if the Boba Fett series it's just like the Mandalorian but with Boba Fett, I would also watch that.
I mean, yeah, sure. Give me green Mandalorian. I'll watch that. Yeah, I guess Marvel RPG sounds pretty cool. I was just saying, like, they should have made this like years ago. I'm surprised they didn't.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it took so long.
Is the Star Wars RPG good? I think that I feel like the Star Wars RPG is probably I don't hear anything about it, but Star Wars is an IP so huge. Why isn't that huge?
Yeah, I don't know. I know people have played it, but I haven't like played it myself. Like recently, I think Cam, our friend Cam, who's been on the show a couple of times and is in our Starfinder game. She ran a Star Wars game for me and Deanna like years and years ago. But as far as the RPG, can't say I've played it recently. So I can't really comment on how good it is. But I know like the people who like it, they like it. So
yeah.
There's the.
I feel like if I would run Star Wars, it would just be Starfinder. It would just be in Starfinder.
Yeah. I've been wanting
there's
to
already laser swords and shit, and like.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do like a whole rebellion thing, because there's a setting in Starfinder that would be perfect for it. Like, there's a whole empire out there that would be perfect for it. But like, I don't know. I can't figure out how to make a rebellion story work in an RPG because it's gonna be like, how can a handful of scrappy do-gooders take down an entire government? It doesn't make sense to me. Oh, you blew up the emperor. There's still like all of his followers and everything. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, so that's the thing too, right? It's tough because that is the story of Lancer, right? At the core of it, it's really just like a bunch of mech pilots at the tip of the spear trying to, do the impossible, right? Taking down warlords, taking down dictators of like an entire planet. Like, what? how are you and like, your 5 mech friends are gonna pull that up? But that's the thing. It's like it's and like, how is your small team of like individuals gonna affect the entire galaxy, right? Like, but it's always, I think in the game they explain it as like it's like a flip of a coin, like the coin spinning in the air right now, and depending on your actions, like you don't even know what your actions are gonna do, of like how it will tip the scales and tip the coin into whichever way it's gonna land. But you can definitely have an effect on the universe, right? At least that's what the storyline of like the gist of Lancer is.
Yeah.
So
like, I know it's doable.
Man.
I don't know. I can't figure it out. So maybe I'll steal some stuff from Lancer.
Kevin's like, there's not enough road tripping involved. We're not talking to NPCs. Can't do it.
I've been working on my Starfinder random encounter table for the longest time. I don't know. I want it to work. But, I should actually like play test it by actually running a game. Maybe I'll do it in Foundry. Who knows?
Who knows, Calvin? That's a lot of ifs. Well, if you want to see if that happens, you should hit that subscribe button.
You should.
And hit that bell notification so when Calvin finally runs Starfinder.
Look, I didn't like the last session
all
that
these
I ran,
years.
Man. I haven't even uploaded it as an episode because I don't know. I want to like redo it completely because I wanted to make that fight much more interesting. Maybe I should redo it. Maybe we should just reboot, but we'll reboot by one episode. The episode that never aired.
We could just blow up the whole thing, man. It'd be pretty funny to just be like, and now it's a new cast. Like we just replace everybody.
I don't know, maybe. Sure. Now it's a story about exploring space. I mean, that's actually not.
From.
We joke, but that's
actually
like
what is it? What's the? Yeah, it's what's that show about? Firefly. We went from like Firefly to being like Enterprise or whatever, like Star Trek. That's what we changed to. Now it's just like going to a place and dealing with whatever silly thing that's happening there and moving on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We could rip off the Mandalorian and you could have like a small green alien baby to deliver somewhere. But you got to keep doing side quests for people.
Yeah, and then we're just like back playing the same game you always run, Calvin.
Yeah, basically. How do I make that work in space?
Yeah, it's just like deliver the small baby to the people you don't even know, but then get attached to it, and then give it to Luke Skywalker. Because I guess I'm not really your dad.
So I'm sort of your dad.
You need to go to boarding school now. Yeah, you gotta go to boarding school because I can't teach you how to be a Mandalorian. It won't. The helmet won't fit on you. Go be a Jedi, and we'll talk later.
Yeah, but if you see someone burning the school, get the hell out of there.
So many questions.
Look, let's not question Star Wars. It's perfect in every way.
Yeah, of course. Oh my god. Definitely not.
Don't question the plan they had. All right, if we keep going, we're going to start rambling about Star Wars, and we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Probably.
In anger.
Yeah.
Frustration.
Just keep in mind, Boba Fett show this year. So, if you're excited for the Boba Fett show, why not show us by liking this video where we mention it a couple of times? But genuinely, your likes and subscribes and everything, it is genuinely helpful to us as encouragement, and it helps other people find these videos, because YouTube is like, oh, people are interacting with these things, let me show it to more people, and that's what gets us going. Yeah, so like and share and comment and subscribe, all those things you know how to do. Yeah, it is the best way to support us, just by liking and subscribing and sharing the video. It helps us out a lot, and it's free. So it doesn't cost you a damn. No, it doesn't. So yeah, for sure. Clicks. So yeah, also check us out on the social medias, the Twitter and the Facebook, and our website, Win with Dice, so you can see more from us, see some updates when the new things come out. Be sure, if you do subscribe, to hit the notification bell so you get a notification when we upload a new episode, as well as seeing our live streams. They'll be in your inbox if you're subscribed. You can get a notification when we go live. They're much fun. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. We've been playing Lancer and having just a ton of fun with the game. So if you want to, I know a lot of people will get introduced to systems by seeing other people run them in actual play games and stuff like that. So, if you want to see some Lancer, feel free to watch our channel. Would really appreciate that. But I think that's going to do it for our episode. We did cover quite a few things that hopefully, if you found it at all helpful, that just dropping a comment or liking the video just is a way to. It's really encouraging. That's why I keep mentioning it. All right, Calvin. There's one more thing we got to do, and I don't feel right doing it. Oh, you don't? You want to do the intro, but you don't want to do the outro? I don't know if I can, man. It feels like a lot of responsibility. It is. It's the last thing people hear. It's the last memory that you leave them with. The last taste on their mouth after the whole meal. It is the dinner mint of listening to this podcast. It's the dinner mint. Oh man! All right, I think I could do it. Go for it. Hey man. Guys, just keep on winning with dice. There it is. And we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody. Bye.